Well, welcome to the Prop Betting Show. I'm Andy from Winning in the Shadows. Thanks everyone for joining us. We have a slammed NBA schedule tonight, so we are NBA heavy. I'm going to go over a little bit of golf, and I'm going to go over some UFC. They just started releasing some of the round props, so we will get into NBA. If you guys could hit the like button, leave me a comment, tell me what's up. You don't need to give me best bet; just tell me what's up. All right, let's go through some of the starting lineups. Is there anything interesting? Yes. Jaylen Brown, my guess is he's going to sit tonight. Boston's been sitting guys, and then they just romped New York and Cleveland. So do with that what you must. I will point out that Boston is only 10-7 against the Western Conference teams. They just play a lot better against the Eastern Conference teams than they do the West. I think they view these as take it a little bit easy and let's really pound sand up the you-know-whats of our Eastern Conference rivals and the people in our conference and division. So we'll monitor that one. Nothing too major in the Orlando game. I'll bring up, we were talking about fading Banchero in the over-under for his points, rebounds, and assists. I put in our Discord that let's lay off on Atlanta because Atlanta's terrible on defense. And he broke a streak and he went over. I'm going to take that same approach with Charlotte. I'm going to lay off playing the under on Banchero on his points, rebounds, and assists. That may be a streak we're probably done with. I think we're 3 or 4 wins off of that one. I don't think we had a loss. So we may just take that streak and be done with it and move on to the next one. Nothing major. Indiana. Embiid is out after last night's debacle, losing to a shorthanded Toronto team, which is almost impossible. Trae Young is just always going to be listed as questionable, even though he's been playing. Anunoby, probably not going to see him tonight. Let's see. Strus gave me Toronto, England, Pirtle. Looks like RJ Barrett is going to be back tonight, but this could be an ass kicking Cleveland and Toronto. Zion, give me a break. Return to play conditioning. Thanks a lot, Zion. Right before the All-Star break. Thanks a lot. That guy, man. Detroit, Chicago. We're gonna go into this game. Milwaukee, Minnesota as well. OKC's not missing anybody. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. Sengun's in game time. Denver looks like, my guess is that we're going to play Gordon and Murray, and Porter's going to sit out again. I don't know why you'd risk an injury on Porter, especially against Portland. My guess is, so Doncic, if he plays, it's not going to be the full workload. They may sit him. I don't know. He played okay, but man, are you going to be really pissed if he re-aggravates the injury right before the All-Star break? But I don't know. We'll see. Reeves and James, I expect to play. Dante Exum, PJ Washington doesn't really interest me, and I think that's about it. All right, let's go to our good friends at props.cash, and let's start. We have tons of props. And here's something we got to. Tonight is a night you could walk away and say, there are 10 props that I like. I'm going to play them all, and that's a mistake. It sounds great in theory, but we really got to get down to the nitty-gritty and find some props that we love that check all the boxes, because right before All-Star break, a lot of weird stuff can happen. So we'll start with the points category. There's 2 centers that I think you can have pretty serious interest in, and I wouldn't blame you for playing it. Rudy Gobert at 11.5 points against Milwaukee with no Giannis. Milwaukee has been truly awful without Giannis going into the All-Star break. Like, they are limping into the All-Star break, and they have just been getting torched, and they haven't even played big centers like Gobert. So you look at Gobert, his minutes are certainly there. You look at his field goal attempts. I mean, only 6, 8, and 7, but they're right around the rim. So, his field goal percentage is 67%. And he's been making some free throws. 4, 7, 3, 2, 3, 2. Those are big numbers when your point total is only 11.5. So this Milwaukee team is a fade. I would expect a big game from Minnesota tonight. So I like Gobert. Bam Adebayo is like one of the last guys left. Now, he gets a horrific matchup against OKC, but he's kind of one of those, it's like the only one left. Like, what did he score? 22 of their, like, less than 90 points against Boston. So Bam, again, his field goal attempts, 17, 14, 16, 17, 21. Yeah, if he gets those, yeah, for sure, he's going to he's definitely going to go over there. So Those are a couple guys in the points. Let's see where some other guys that were. Yeah, none of these. And I didn't see any unders that I really truly liked because they all got pretty decent matchups. So we will move on to, let's just take a quick look at rebounds and assists. Actually, scratch that. Let's go right to points, rebounds, and assists because I want to talk about this Detroit game. So we talked about Malik Beasley over his threes, and we talked about Ozzer Thompson over his points, rebounds, and assists last game against Chicago. And sure enough, he flew over. The theory was he'd been playing really well. He'd gone over. I guess I don't know if he's responding to all the hype his brother's getting, but he just pedaled to the metal and went over. And then we talked about how bad Chicago's defense is, and we can find these teams like in Atlanta, like in Milwaukee, like Chicago. They're not playing any defense whatsoever right now. And you take some of these guys on the opposing team to go over. Ozzer Thompson did this in 22 minutes. He was averaging 1 PRA per minute, and it's 18 and a half. So his efficiency is through the roof. I mean, this guy only attempted, he's 7 of 8, 7 of 9, and 5 of 7 the last 3 games. But what is Chicago going to make like life difficult for him? I doubt it. So his PRA just in the last, I mean, let's just do the last 5 games. He's averaging 7.8 potential assists, 9.6 rebound chances, and 8 field goal attempts. If he gets anywhere near those numbers, yeah, of course he's going to go over. And I just don't see anything from Chicago that makes me want to bet him. So, yeah, going right back to Ozzer Thompson, I think is potential tonight. I know you guys heard me talk about Malik Beasley. I can't believe I'm liking overs on a guy that the number is 3.5, but he keeps going over, and he made 7 against Chicago. He was 7 of 10. I mean, attempting 10 is amazing enough, but he's averaging 10.4. Now, this was helped by a 19 attempts in one game, but 10, 14, 6, 11, 10. Listen, he's shooting 47%, damn near 50%. So if he's going to shoot 10 again, yeah, it's probably worth a play. You're just fading the Chicago team. So, all right, let's take a look at some other guy. I just wanted to mention that one real quick. So we'll go to the points, rebounds, and assists. You guys know I like playing the unders. Halliburton under against Washington is interesting until you see that he always does really well. So I'm going to have to lay off of that one. Again, we're trying to, if we're looking at unders, we want to find some pretty decent defenses here. So you could go to Brook Lopez under his points, rebounds, and assists. This has my attention. He's barely gone over the last couple times that he's played Minnesota, but these are last year. So we look at what he's been doing recently. Yeah, not great. Not great. Points got to come from somewhere, but I don't know. This Milwaukee team I want nothing to do with. Let's see if there's any other unders on the points, rebounds, and assists. Porzingis was an interesting one. He's just barely not getting there. And I mean just barely not getting there. But then when you look at how is Charlotte, how is San Antonio? Well, they're really awful against points. So, what's interesting is they're 22 against threes. So maybe they defend threes pretty good against centers and what's power forwards. Yeah, 22nd. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at if there are any overs that we like. Davion Mitchell's one of these guys where like he's just one of the last ones left there scoring. So you could go there, but it's OKC, so not really that interested in that one. Let's take a look at some made 3-pointers. I'm not really seeing any made 3-pointers that I like. The prices are a little bit out of whack. I've lost more money by not playing Darius freaking Garland. I've talked about his over 2.5, and all he's done is hit it. And I keep not wanting to play it because I don't want to be the one that comes in on the one game that he doesn't do it. But if you've been playing it, you're just still going with it and playing it. So Darius Garland over 2.5 made threes. That's a really, really frustrating one that I have missed out on big time. So who's been ice cold from threes? You got to find something with reasonable juice here. Norman Powell at -160. That's a lot for Norman Powell. averaging 7.7. Yeah, that's a lot. He had a 12. Was that? Yeah. So the one game he went over in the last 10, 12. He's getting a mid. This is a pretty decent play now that I'm looking at it. Trying to get 4 against this Memphis team is quite a bit. So I might look at Norman Powell under his made 3-pointers there. Let's see if there's any others that really jump out. Not too much. Let's take a look and see about the rebounding and assists. Kelly Oubre, I like this one. Let's take a look and see what he does without Joel Embiid. How about that? Is that speaking to you? Kelly Oubre flown over in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games without Joel Embiid. In fact, 9 out of the last 10. I think this one might have my attention. Let's see how they do against the position. I will say this. This is going to blow your mind. Last 6 games, number 1 defensive rated team in the league, Brooklyn. Brooklyn. Who would ever saw that coming? Let's see if he's played. Kelly Oubre played him without Embiid earlier this year and had 12. I'm liking this more and more. How's Brooklyn against the forward position? Oh, wow. They give up 7.6 rebounds and 4.6 assists. Let's go back to the games without Embiid. He's getting 4.4 potential assists and 13.3 rebound chances. That's a lot. I'm liking this play more and more. Kelly Oubre over his rebounds plus assists, 8.5. I think that's a solid one. Who else? Jaime Jaquez. Problem with this one is they don't have lines everywhere. You would take this. If you got BetMGM, you could take this one. He's been going over this one quite a bit. Yeah, 7.8 rebound chances and 4.3 potential assists. Unfortunately, they don't have that everywhere. And we can go to the assist category because I believe 2 of the hottest people in this category are San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, Chris Paul, crushing. Absolutely crushing, even with his, I think, was Fox been there 4 or 5 games? So in those games, Chris Paul getting 8.8 assist chances. Now, here's the thing. He had 12, 5, 7, 8, and 12. Boy, you really need this number to be 12 before you can really, really depend on it. But the other one was De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, he's been there. Yeah, he's been there these 4 games, and he's gone over 5.5 assists in every single one of his games with San Antonio. Now, he's getting 12.2. Now, this is a number I can get behind. De'Aaron Fox in his last 4 games with San Antonio, 10, 12, 10, and 19 potential assists, and we only need him to get 6. I like this. I think this is a flat spot for Boston. I've seen them struggle against Western Conference teams. I watched them lose to Dallas. They lost to. They barely beat New Orleans. They lost to Houston. They don't put in the full effort. So De'Aaron Fox, this could be a good one. I think the San Antonio team's pretty I think they're energetic about their season and their chances. I kind of like them. So what's up, Brad Maddock? How are you, brother? Appreciate you. Yeah, so those are some assist numbers, but again, you got to narrow this thing down to just a couple. Just try and pick 2. There's too many. It's right before All-Star break, so just pick a couple that you liked and don't go heavy on them. So, all right. Let's get into. Let's go to golf here real quick. I want to point out something in golf. Individual round scores. The weather is going to be terrible. The rough is going to be long, thick, and wet. There's going to be no roll on the golf course, and this is the longest course that they're going to play all year. This is a nightmare. This is playing a major, except a difficult major. I think the winning score might be close to even. It's raining today, Wednesday. It's going to rain on Thursday. It's going to rain on Friday. And the round scores that they have are 1 over and 2 over. So they're telling you this is going to be brutal. So, I mean, Robert McIntyre, it's par 72. So you're looking at 71 Fs. Thigala's 2 over. Straka is 1 over. Russell Henley has my attention because he's one of the shorter players in the field. He can't hit it very long, but good Lord, this is just going to be really, really tough. I was hoping Wyndham Clark would be 72.5 because I don't think he's made out for this one. Now, that being said, I think he won on this course. Was it last year? Yeah, he won on this course last year when it was bad weather. So probably end up staying away from him. Rory at 71.5. I mean, he's gonna have to go under par. He's long enough where he could. The one guy that I'm interested in, I'm probably gonna make this a client play is Hideki Matsuyama over 72.5. He shot 76, 70, and 75 on this course 3 weeks ago. They played 3 rounds here, and he wasn't very good. 2 out of 3 rounds, and that was good weather. So I don't know what he's going to do here. And the big problem with him is his driving accuracy has been terrible this week. And if you hit it in the rough, you've got bogeys galore staring you in the face. And these par fives are not that scoreable, not with how long the course is going to play this week. You're going to hit the ball, and the ball's just going to stop. So you're going to have a lot of layups and not being able to go for it. So some of these individual round score, I would even look at Scheffler over 71 now. I don't trust that guy right now, not in the rain and the wind. So miserable conditions. All right. They started releasing. Hey, what's up, Nick? How you doing? They started releasing some UFC lines. Wanted to, I'll go over those, but have an update. I haven't been the best in the world at updating our numbers for this year. So since January 1st, 2025, 139 wins, 10.84 units. 10.84 units doesn't sound like a lot unless you knew what the first 2 weeks of the year went like for us. It was awful. Like we were down 20 units before you even knew it. So like I'm really, really happy with what Jim and Corbin have been doing, especially Corbin. He's coming off of a sweep in soccer and tennis the last day or so. So this plus 10.84 units speaks a lot as to what we've done in the last, 3 or 4 weeks. I think we're up like 40 units. So really, really happy with that. And again, this week's record, 5-2 plus 9.5 units. So really happy with that. This is why we preach good bankroll management. Just stick to the plan, trust the process. Don't go all in on these plays. What do we have up here at Wager Talk? Well, tonight we are in play in the NBA, and if you haven't been playing our NBA plays, like seriously, go get it. We're on a 17-5 run. I've just started calling these NBA plays the hidden gems because I've really discovered I'm the only one picking these plays, and I think that's what's working. We're 8-1 the last 9 plays and 17-5 the last 3 weeks. NBA has been a big reason why we've been building bankrolls over the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been a really, really solid run. 5% play is up in UFC. We've hit our last 3, hit all 3 of them in 2025, and we're number 1 in MMA profits. We have our darts plays that are up. So if you're looking for some darts plays, we were 3-2 in the first night, and then we've got that pack up. Or just get 30-day special. 30-day special for $8 per day. I mean, you're going to get darts plays. We're up 28 units in darts. Like I said, number 1 in MMA, in UFC. We crept into the top 3 for the season in NBA, which is amazing because we don't put out plays unless our plays are like 1.5%, 2%. But that's how good the NBA has been. So you're going to get golf. You're going to get tennis. You're going to get auto racing. NASCAR season starts this week. So a lot of great sports. We're number 1 in the last 2 years. I think we're number 2 in the last 365 days. So really, really good time to get on board some of those plays. I mentioned some UFC plays. There's a couple that I think this Chaos Williams Bonfim goes over 1.5. Gabriel Bonfim, like, yeah, I think he's kind of learned his lesson. He can't go balls to the wall early, and Chaos Williams just doesn't throw enough volume for me. I'm not a big fan of his money line, but I do think you could see a pretty good striking match on the feet for a couple rounds, maybe even 3 rounds. So Angelo Hill Souza's juice to the gills. What's another one that was jumping out? Oh, the Cannonier Rodriguez fight. Man, juice to the under 2.5. I mean, when you see the line on -225, I'm sure they're telling you that they think Rodriguez is. This is Rodriguez's first 5-round fight. And cardio has been an issue with him at times. I'm just not sure he's going to want to try and go for the finish early unless he really rocks Cannonier. But we've seen Rodriguez when he jumps in and he goes for the finish, he can really gas himself. So I think I like the over. I think Janet Cannonier loses this fight. I think he's a little bit older, but I think you're going to see Rodriguez manage his cardio and play a little bit safe. I think he's going to have the bigger power, and I think he's going to do the most damage. But that one kind of stuck out to me. I thought that was an interesting one. So, all right, I think that's about it for props for today. So tomorrow we'll be back. We'll probably talk a little bit more golf. I know darts video and golf video will be going up later today. So thanks everyone. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Don't be a stranger. You can join the Discord channel as well. It's Winning in the Shadows Discord channel. I'll put a link in the description. Good luck on your place. We'll see everyone later.